Hello snowboarders of the internet, I am your host TC, and today I will be reviewing the Arbor Kass Park Pro. If you're looking to pick up your own Kass board, feel free to click those affiliates down below so you don't have to go searching for it yourself. It is straight camber from nose contact point to tail contact point. You just have that classic camber, so what that's going to do is that's going to get you all that pop, drive, and stability that you're looking for from a classic cambered snowboard. This board comes in two sizes, which are a 154 and a 157. I rode this board at Copper Mountain where it was a beautiful, warm, sunny day. It did pick up the breeze though, so it was definitely windy where we stayed lower mountain most of the day. Honestly, kept it in the park because that's what this board is designed for. But the groomers were great. It eventually did get soft enough where if you were to land on that knuckle and butt check, you were gonna leave some cheek marks in the landing there. So wasn't super hard or anything like that, just a nice true snow where you could really dig that edge in and lay it down and really trust that it was gonna hold all day. I used my Ride Fuse boots and my Jones Mercury phase bindings. Flex and stability. When we're talking overall flex of this board, it is definitely going to be on the stiffer end. Even though I did ride the 154, it still felt very responsive to me, where it was a fluid flex. It was a fluid flex from nose to tail, where when I flexed into it, I could definitely feel it wanting to hold pretty much right in front of that contact point on the tail, and same with the nose. When I torsionally flex it, it is very comparable to the overall flex. Now we move on to stability. This board is definitely going to be on the more lively side there, but that being said, it's nothing crazy where you're feeling all of the chatter, all of the vibrations. Even at super high speeds, this nose didn't chatter on me, and it felt extremely stable on the snow where I could just keep charging and not have to worry about it wiggling out on me or anything like that. Pops, ollies, and jumps. When I was loading this thing up to ollie, it returned everything that I put back into it. Because it is full camber, you load it up like a full camber board and it's gonna return it all back to you. Where it felt nice and stiff, but it wasn't like super planky, so you can just do that classic snowboard ollie where you roll into it and let all of that force do the work. And it felt great on the landing, so when you're popping a side hit or a roller, I didn't have any problems there. As I took it to the jumps, I would say you can take it to any size jump you're comfortable with. I had a great time on the medium line. The one thing I will say, when you load this thing up for the jump, make sure that you have enough landing because this thing has some springs on it. It felt like this tail was just made out of springs where I popped it, and on the first jump line, I took them extremely deep, almost to flat, where I was like, okay, let's pump the brakes a little bit. But honestly, I was still able to keep all of my speed for the next jump, so that was amazing. Even landing on this thing felt extremely smooth. You can land flat base and then set that edge into the next jump, and you have zero problems there. It felt extremely stable to me, and even though it does have a directional shape to it, it pops the same in both directions, so you don't have to worry about it because it is a true twin board. While I have you here, you might as well like, subscribe, click that bell, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of our scheduled programming. I mean, this board isn't going to be the most butterable thing out there, considering Kass was a prolific half-pipe rider, and this thing is full camber. It's not going to be the most butterable. It fought me the whole way when I was trying to butter on the tail and on the nose. I figured out if I lean extremely far back and try to wheelie this tail, it worked out a little bit better for me where it would hold. I still wasn't super stable while doing it, but I got the job done there, and so did it, where it's gonna spring you out on those butters. So just be prepared for that. And as we translate over to the jibbing portion, it is very similar. I had a bitch of a time pressing this thing on rails and ledges where it fought me the whole way. It took me a few tries to fully make it through the rail where I wasn't pressing the nose down or anything like that. And when you do slide this thing sideways, expect it to be a little bit stiffer where you come from the top ropes and land on that rail, it's gonna load up that camber and pop you out. So make sure you're not coming in too hot or too high for that rail, and you'll be just fine there when you're sliding it sideways. This board will hit any carve that you want. Those short, quick carves getting edge to edge, zero problems. Those medium carves are nice and smooth, and those long carves are really actually amazing, where this board just keeps its speed and wants to go fast, which honestly makes a lot of sense from Danny's half pipe background really. But overall, this thing does carve really well. You can still Euro carve on it, even though it is a true twin board. It holds its edge extremely well, as if you were to just put that power to the edge and just be able to almost drive through anything. Rider in mind, this is definitely for that more advanced rider that wants to spend more time in the air than they do on the ground. Dare I say, possibly a half pipe rider? I think so. Like, it's definitely going to take a little bit more. You're going to want to be on your A game for this board, but overall, super solid. If you're looking for a way to join the Angry Snowboarder army, why don't you head on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP? What is it, you ask? Sure, I could explain it here, but we have a great video over there getting into it really in depth. I absolutely love this board. It pretty much did everything that I look for in a board extremely well. It held an edge well, it popped really well, and that's the main thing that I really focus on, is how well is that edge hold and how hard can this thing pop. And that's exactly what it did. Danny Kass was my favorite pro rider growing up, the first pro I had ever met when I was like 11 or 12 years old. So I'm stoked to see him back in action with a pro model, and especially one that rips this hard. I really enjoyed it, and I think you guys should probably get on one too. Comparable boards, the Nitro Beast, the K2 Hypnotist, and the Jones Tweaker Pro. Recommended bindings, the Arbor Cypress, the Jones Mercury, and the Salomon Highlander. As always, guys, I've been your host TC, and this has been my review of the Arbor Danny Kass Park Pro. If this doesn't sound like the board for you, why don't you go check out one of the videos for the comparable boards.